Hey, my handsome ladies and gentlemen, this is Shmeaty, and I did just want to say if you guys are here from HomeSliceHenry's recent feature and shout out of my channel, a massive thank you to not only you, but HomeSliceHenry as well. He's been a massive influence to me in my content creation journey, and you guys are the only reason I'm able to put out content, so thank you as well. That being said, we're not getting up to our usual spicy shenanigans today. I actually just built two Menaces recently and I wanted to try them out. So we're going to be pairing Leftorando, our Leaf Tornado Superior, along with Shadow for Alligator and Annihilate for today's video. If you guys do like today's video, please feel free to leave it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. But without keeping you too long, let's get into these battles. Alright, game number one, and Leftorando is going to find a Cresselia on lead. This is pretty ideal for me. Nothing else on my team wants to see this thing, especially because the most common moveset they're on right now is Grass Knot and Future Sight. That's basically the best moveset for the meta with all the Mud Boys, Annihilate, etc. running around. So I'm going to Leftorando, not get the debuff, and they're going to Future Sight, which hurts a lot. But we're going to Leftorando again. Surely we get it here, right? I mean, PV Poke says if I don't get it one time, I get it the second time. But absolutely not. I'm not going to get a single debuff, and my Superior is going to go ahead and get KO'd here. Pretty unfortunate for me. I'm going to bring in for Alligator, looking for an aggressive farm down on the Cresselia there. But that wasn't going to happen. They're going to bring in their Whiscash, and it's a Shadow Whiscash. They're going to be forced to shield up the Hydro Cannon. They have a move here, but I know that I can no-shield this. For Alligator's pretty glassy as a Shadow, but I can live that. They get to another Mud Bomb. Problematic for me at best, but I'm just going to overfarm, fire off a Hydro Cannon once I get to the back-to-back. Forcing a decision out of the Whiscash is my for Alligator. They're going to no-shield, and they bring in a Skarmory. I'm okay with seeing Skarmory here because I can easily get this Hydro Cannon off, and now since they no-shielded, I'm bringing in Annihilate. Annihilate looking to punch this thing all the way down, and they fire off the Sky Attack and then make a pretty big misplay. They bring in Cresselia, and I'm Shadow Balling. I don't care. They call the bait, and Cresselia gets blasted, Skarmory gets farmed down, and GG's trainer. Game number two, and Leftorando finds a Poliwrath. Love this lead. Really couldn't be much better for me, honestly. So I am going to throw 6 and Leftorando. This is the best play that I could think of because you bait a Frenzy Plant, which would do a lot of damage, and Poliwrath is a debuffer, and the move that it's going to throw at a Superior is a debuffing move. So you bait the Frenzy every time and potentiate a 2-stage debuff. If you get the debuff, you're in a really good spot. You don't even have to shield the Icy Wind. Anyways, they bring in a Steelix, so I'm going to counter switch my Annihilate here. And I'm not even going to shield a single move. Even though that I am team reading and see that there's a Bastiodon in the back, Bastiodon really doesn't have anywhere fun to go on my team. So I'm going to just sack the Annihilate here. I'm so low that when this Poliwrath comes in, they have a lot of incentive to shield this move, thinking that I'm just low and I'm just going to throw my big move, but I don't. I bait, and then I'm going to throw the big move. The Shadow Ball going to do some severe damage onto the Poliwrath, actually KOing the poor Bastiodon, getting ripped to shreds. And now I'm just going to Night Slash and try to get as much damage off on this as possible. But do I really need to? I've got a for Alligator with a shield. I've got Superior. The game's over. GG's. Game number 3 gives me a really unfortunate lead. It's an Altaria, and I'm just going to have to bring in my for Alligator here. My for Alligator is going to be met with a Jellicent counter switch, which is not a very good counter switch, but they are going to get a shield out of me and get a shield advantage for their Altaria, which is what they need to do here. So most likely in comes the Altaria, but instead in comes a Victory Bell. I'm wondering why they didn't counter switch this to begin with, but it certainly is what it is. They let the crunch through and they get farmed down. Victory Bell, especially as a Shadow, quite glassy, and now I'm playing to what I believe is my only win con in this game. It's toxic, but I'm going for Leftorando debuff, and going into Annihilate so I can live some Dragon Breaths and some Sky Attacks. Very unfortunately for me, as the theme of the game has continued, 0 Leftorando debuffs. I believe I get it on the second one there. So we finally get the first one of the video. Very nice. And they're going to Sky Attack. But the problem here is that I just don't have Ice Punch. If I had Ice Punch, coolio, I'd be in a really good spot. But I just don't. And so that means that they would be able to outpace me to a Sky Attack. So I'm forced to throw the Night Slash But even worse, once they make this move, I am cooked. Altaria connects with the Moonblast, farms down the Superior. GG's. Looks like your boy hit the record button a little late on this battle, but regardless, it's going to be Leftorando finding a Skeleturge, but they do switch. That is super important for me. I didn't want anything else other than my Crocodile on their Crocodile, so they bring in the Swampert, no shield this Shadow Ball. These traders keep calling my bait and I keep smacking them with a Shadow Ball. I no shield the Hydra Cannon, pretty confident that I'm going to live. And I do live, which is really nice. They bring in the Skeleturge, once again getting another Incinerate. I believe they got 2 Incinerates at the start, so they're now finally at a move. But I'm just going to bring in Feraligatr here. I have no reason not to. My Gator does not discriminate. I'm going to shield a Disarming Voice, a Shadow Ball. I'd shield a Flamethrower if they had that. They're going to bring in a Dugong, but I have the perfect response in my Superior. I'm going to fire off a Leftorando, but more importantly, I made it to the Frenzy, so they do commit the shield because this is a debuffing Pokemon. I don't care. We don't get the Leftorando debuff because, I don't know, I guess the RNGesus was against me today. Nevertheless, I do make a second Leftorando. It will be on alignment, but that's fine. I don't particularly care that much for fast move timing because I'm only getting 1 move there. I'm coming in with my Feraligatr. I'm going to throw the move to deny this energy that they had, so that farm down means nothing. The Skeleturge comes back in. They need 2 moves. They don't have it. GG's. Game number 5 now, and we're going to find a Relic of the Past in a Galarian Stunfisk. I'm perfectly okay with this. I don't mind at all staying in here. I don't really care where this ends up because my entire team can easily beat this Pokemon. I'm gonna Leftorando, they no shield, and I don't get the debuff. RNGesus just hates me, I guess. I don't know. I have like a crackpot theory now that RNGesus is just out to get me. I'm gonna fire off another Leftorando. They have no incentive to shield this one either, and they do not, but I do get the 2-stage debuff. They are going to bank some energy, switch into an Altaria, and I'm going to Leftorando this too. Come on, I got my fingers crossed here. Please give me a debuff. Please give me a debuff. I get the debuff, and in comes my Feraligatr. This is massive. I bring in the Feraligatr because I can fake a Ice Beam here. I don't have it, but they don't know that. So I'm going to fire off a Crunch. Honestly, Crunch is the best move I can throw here because I can potentiate a defense debuff as well. They're so low that I'm just going to throw 1 and then go for the Hydro Cannon here in an attempt to KO. They let the Altaria go entirely, which is really good. They have a Poliwrath in the back. This is evidently a little less good. I'm going to go for the Hydro Cannon. I do grab a shield with the Hydro Cannon, which is massive. Thinking about it, going to bring in their Superior here and put up a shield. I'm doubling down on this Superior being my win con in this matchup, and they bring in the Relic of the Past, Galarian Stunfisk. They Quake my Snake and I live on 1 HP. I have no idea what's going on. Alright, they make it to another move. Unfortunately, this is not debuffed. They're going to fire off an Earthquake. It hits really hard onto my Annihilate, and in comes the Poliwrath. I need a lot of energy here. I'm going to go for the Night Slash. If they call this, I'm cooked. They call it, and I'm cooked. Oh no. I'm firing off another Night Slash. I need this to KO. Of course, they do have the shield left over, and Poliwrath is going to win CMP over Superior. I don't even think my move showed up, but it didn't matter. I didn't deserve that win. GG's. Not too happy with the Core Breaker I'm going to see on the next lead. It's going to be a Mantine. I'm weak to this in the front and the back. I'm just going to have to play this out with Leftorando, hope that I can get some debuffs and play this pretty close. I'm going to fire off the Leftorando on 6. They have no incentive to shield once again as they live, and again I don't get the debuff. I don't know how this keeps happening to me, but I'm going to put up a shield and try to play this out as close as I can. Firing off another Leftorando here, hoping that I can get some kind of advantage for myself in this matchup, but I go 0 for 2. At this point, I'm just going to let the Superior go. There's not really a whole lot of reason for me to keep this around anymore. I get to a last-second Leftorando. I don't believe I would have made the Frenzy. It would have been very close. Thinking about it, I probably did make it because I lived on 1 HP, but I didn't want to risk it. They're going to fire off a move. It's an Ice Beam. Not entirely sure what that was about, but I'm okay. They're going to bring in a Medicham, and I'm okay with seeing Medicham here. I'm actually going for a Crunch here because I want debuff plus Shadow Claw damage on this. That's, I believe, a pretty good way to victory. They're going to fire off a move here. I'm not going to shield it, whatever it is. It's probably an Ice Punch. I live on 1 HP and make a Hydro. This Hydro damage is going to be very, very crucial. I'm going to bring in my Annihilate and farm down their Metacham, and hiding in the back was an Annihilate. They should have seen this play coming. I'm going to build past my Shadow Ball and up to theirs and catch on the Superior. This was completely unnecessary. Opponent is upset about that play. They closed their game, and it actually had me thinking right here that I just got lagged out of the game. I'm over here swiping up and down on my screen, trying desperately to make sure that I'm still in the game, but we come back, we get the Shadow Ball, and we avoid the rare early season Fatty L. GG's. Final game of the video, going up against Greek Yogurt Fan, and Leftorando is going to find an Annihilate on lead. This is very nice for me because I can always just build up to 5 and bait that I have that really weird flying move, but it's actually a Leftorando. But it's actually a Leaf Tornado because I never get debuffs, and that is pretty unfortunate. But I should just let whatever they throw here through. They bait me with the Night Slash and I shielded it. That's not so good. I'm going to fire off another Leftorando here. I could have built up to the Frenzy and thrown that, but I throw a second Leftorando and get no debuff action going on. My Leftorando is starving for some debuffs right now. They Shadow Ball me, I get KO'd. I bring in my Feraligatr, going for the farm down, and I get it just before they're able to make a move. That's massive. They're going to bring in a Alolan Sandslash, and just before they're able to get the drill run here, I'm going to fire off a Hydra Cannon. Number 1 grabs their shield. Number 2 is going to inflict big pain onto the Sandslash, and they're going to get sniped by the Annihilate. I have a weird moveset. That's an Ice Punch in a close combat that you're seeing, but it doesn't save the opponent. GG's. If you made it to this part in the video, thanks so much for watching. It really means a lot to me, and huge thank you to everyone that's been watching, everyone that's new. All your viewership and support really makes me strive to bring you guys the best content I can. I'm super dedicated, looking to try to get out 3 videos in a week, and only because of your guys' support is that possible. One major reason I made today's video is to highlight that Mankey is a readily available spawn, and Totodile is in water type grunts right now, the female grunt specifically. I just wanted to say catch these guys while you can, because we don't know how long they'll be as readily available as they are right now. That being said, if you guys are interested in running this team, I really wouldn't recommend it, but I do think it could cook a little harder with Ice Punch on Annihilate. Honestly, with the increase in Altaria, I'm not sure if that's a actual meta trend or if this is early season and people just have Altaria built and they're like, yeah, this is a good guy to run. Nevertheless, I think it might cook a little harder as well in case you see Mark Ligar. But the pacing oftentimes on Night Slash is a little too good to give up, so I will leave that up to your discretion. I think it is probably a better play for this particular team, but anyways, thanks again so much for watching. This has been Shmeaty. I hope to see you guys next time, and have a good rest of your day.